The so-called Freedom Convoy that arrived in Ottawa more than a week ago to protest the Canadian government's vaccine mandate for cross-border truckers has been honking horns, blocking downtown streets and disturbing residential neighborhoods. They faced little pushback from law enforcement until this weekend, when officials in the Canadian capital ramped up their response by ticketing protesters, confiscating their fuel and declaring a state of emergency. Mayor Jim Watson told the CBC that the emergency declaration will help police and city staff get the resources they need faster. "We're in the midst of a serious emergency, the most serious emergency our city has ever faced, and we need to cut the red tape to get these supplies available to our public." Police have seemed largely unprepared to deal with the unusual protest, NPR's Emma Jacobs told Morning Edition from her base in Montreal on Monday, between reporting trips to Ottawa. Authorities have largely hesitated to confront protesters and their massive vehicles, not wanting anyone to get hurt, police have said. But the situation appears to be growing increasingly untenable, with residents reporting harassment and defiant demonstrators unwilling to budge. Thousands of protesters in tractor-trailers and other large vehicles have been running their engines and honking their horns day and night since descending on the city late last month. This is the seat of government, where Parliament meets and government offices are, but it's also a residential neg. Jacobs said it's clear why the noisy protests have been so hard on residents, many of whom have said they are being confronted by Convoy supporters for wearing masks. The protesters represent a range of ideologies and priorities, she added, with the initial anti-vaccine protest evolving into a broader demonstration against COVID-19 measures. Many in attendance say they'll stay put until all public health mandates are lifted, while others have called for more extreme outcomes like the dissolution of the current government. QAnon followers and people with far-right ties are also in the mix. Many members of the convoy and their supporters, they insist the worst behavior and the right-wing views are really a tiny part of the movement, she said. At the same time, many protesters repeated misinformation and conspiracy theories about vaccines and COVID-19. A number of Canadian provinces require vaccine passports to access certain public spaces, and because the federal government can't lift those mandates, Jacobs said, it's tough to see how